Hey again, everybody. So this is the second tutorial number 2. If you haven't watched the first tutorial on developing effective prompts, please go back to it, and I'll remind you in this particular video to do that as well. So in this video, what I want to do is talk about the updated case study report writing assignment, and what I'd like you to do, at least on this first one, to try and make it a little bit easier and maybe do a little bit better. So first, like I said, go back, because if you're going to be using AI to help you generate the report, the better you get at writing the prompt and all the elements involved, the better it'll look, and the less editing you'll have to do. You just have to read through and verify that the information is correct and that things are referenced properly. So, how do I want you to think about this? And I'm sorry about the background noise. My neighbor's getting their roof redone. You're writing this report for your boss to understand what you did, for the company corporate heads who make the big decisions to understand that it's a wise investment, and possibly more importantly, that you're demonstrating to the department faculty and maybe future interns what needs to be done, what was planned, what was learned, what was verified. I think that's a better way to put it. So there are different aspects of this I want you to think about. In the past, what we've experienced is that when students have to do everything from scratch and they're developing it on their own, they get frustrated, anxious, stressed, and therefore they don't do a complete job. I want to make sure you guys do a complete job since you have AI there helping you write, assemble, present, and then you got to verify it. So let's definitely put more into this. So unfortunately, I don't have any examples to show you. You guys are the example. And after I grade them, I'm going to give you feedback and possibly update the assignment or update the rubric, grading rubric, or maybe this tutorial so that the next one is even better. The idea being that I think you should be able to put something that typically took 2 to 3 weeks for interns to complete it in a day or two. It may be even less, maybe just in one shift or in an afternoon. So let's talk about the parts, the pieces. So this is what the report should look like. It should be saved in PDF, which is something I just went back and did for these two tutorials. I accidentally gave it to you in Word. I reread it, fixed some things, saved in PDF, went back, had to change it again. So a cover page, and it's going to need to have the 4-part structure, which we'll go over in a little bit, and make sure you have the AI disclosure. Now I've been saying disclaimer, but I guess disclosure is the better statement as far as what's being done. And I made sure I added those to both of the 2 documents I provided so far. The executive summary can be up to 2 pages, but try to keep it under. 1 would be great. It should be a standalone. Briefly indicate what this was all about, what you found, what the recommendations are, and what you're trying to do is persuade management to support and invest. You're educating them and you're attempting to get their commitment. The method section should be introduction, I'm sorry. You're writing it for someone who's never been to your work site. I would like you to keep the name of the company out of there if you can, any names of people out of there if you can. I would like to make it as shareable as possible. If you use photos that management hasn't approved, consider either generating something through AI or trying to find something on Google Docs or Google Images and put it in there and then put an indication this is not the actual, this is found Google Images, blah, blah, blah. Because it's for educational purposes, you can do stuff like that as long as you reference it properly. So this is going to be a long section. Typically it's too short. Usually interns only put in about 2 pages, possibly 3. You should be able to fill that up quickly. I'm not putting any page limit on these. You do what you do. Method section. This is where you're going to demonstrate that this is what was done and why you chose the technique you did, why you chose the data or observations that you did, and how you ensured they were the right ones. So this is going to be much more in depth than we had in previous years. And that it's something that's always bothered me. These 2 sections have been very anemic in previous reports, but now you've got something that can help you build these things, and it may actually help you in the guidance process. Make sure the results photos, tables, figures, and explanation. You need to have those, all of them need to have titles, need to have numbers. You can refer back to them. The discussion section, that's where it goes into your recommendations based on the results and some sort of ROI or value-based assessment. That's to convince management that it's a good investment. There's a lot of ways you can go with that. Make sure your references are an APA style. The AI can do that for you. If you need assistance, the Purdue OWL is one of the best resources. I still use it as well. Should you need help with formatting or anything like that. And then finally, the appendices. Should there be things that you weren't able to put into the document itself because they were too long, too big, too awkward, then make sure you refer to them somewhere in the paper. If you don't refer to them, then why is it there? Okay, I hope that helps. This is already longer than I wanted to. I redesigned the rubric for simplification. You will get 20 points scored for the executive summary because this is the thing that management, this may be the only thing they read. And so it needs to be clear, concise, and with the directive of trying to get them to not only understand what you did, but the importance of following your recommendations. Technical report is the majority because that's a big part of it. And then the overall containment presentation, and that you make sure you have a proper disclosure statement, everything's right. I gave it 20 points. That's probably too much because AI is going to be handling a lot of that, but you also have to go in and do your own editing. And so, or verification. So that's really where that's going to come from. If there's any mistakes, that's definitely going to be on you. Excuse me. So go back and make sure you are prompting like a professional. Here's just an example here of what you could do. See how long it is? It's much different than saying, here are my results, tell me what happened. If you can bring in other resources, do like a quick literature review. Has there been a study in, say, Professional Safety Journal or Safety and Health, one of the more professional magazines out there? And can you borrow some of that, what they learned, what they found in the development of your study? Is there something from the OSHA website, documents there? Is there data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics or within house? You should have many documents that you're uploading in addition to your prompts. And the prompts then have to identify what those things are and how you want it to use. And I don't think that's in what the first tutorial talked about. But again, it's something we're learning together. This is with the cover page. These are the parts that are needed. This is what you do for the appendices. You're reading it. You've got the workbook or guidance document. So I'm not going to spend much time on this. Here's the big thing, you guys. I've given you a 11-page or 10-page assignment. We'll look at it in a second. I have the grading rubric, and I've worked very, very extensively with Claude to put in the language. You can use that to pre-check your submission. Invaluable to try and get everything to at least the most comprehensive review you've ever gone through. And you can see here, down here on the bottom, it says here, try this. You're grading a case study, blah, blah, blah. Upload the assignment. Maybe do it in the same chat or project line as well that we built this together. Now I want to verify it against the instructor's guidance before I submit it. Can you score these based on what's here and then make recommendations on how these things could change so I can consider it, and then I may have you do it for me. Something like that, you guys, okay? But man, I think that's going to make everything much easier and you're more likely to score very well. Once you've completed, I do want you to document the things you're going through. It may be mostly in the chat or text bar. I would save that to another document because you may want to summarize it or ask it to summarize it and what you went through, what you learned as far as prompting, formatting, documents used, what sort of editing you had to do, how that all went. Those are things I'm going to be adding those types of things to the discussion board, or maybe the weekly assignment. I'm not sure yet. Again, I'm kind of making this up as I go, but I want to make sure that we're all learning from this process, and it's going to make it easier the second time around because I'll be providing you with a video like this in which I've graded all your stuff using AI, and I'll show you what I looked for, what I learned, and we'll move forward from there. So 4 steps in order. You should have already completed the first tutorial. If not, go back and watch it again. You put things together for your initial case study report. You have to give it things and tell it what to do. It can actually help you develop those too as well, as long as you've got the understanding of it. Self-assess with rubric, and then we'll be discussing what we all learned. So that's pretty much it. It went over 10 minutes. Sorry about that. But let's just really quickly, if you will, just take a quick look at the assignment. It's right here, case study assignment. So this document here, I worked really hard to update and have the content so that you can use this in the development and final evaluation before submission. See, I've got a lot of information in here. I really went all out. So here we go. Here's the rubric. So this is what it's going to score you against. So you could actually possibly put this in to help with the format of the original, but I don't want it to be confused too much. It's more or less after you've got a very strong draft that you would use this to evaluate, make the improvements, make sure you're keeping a log of what you're doing, and then I've got the disclosure statement, which AI helped me write. So make sure you have that in there. Yours should be on the cover page, but this document really doesn't have a cover page. It's just sort of an assignment. It's not the same as a report. Again, it's more of a workbook. So I hope this has been helpful. I'm really excited to see what you guys can come up with. I hope that we all get to a certain competence level when it comes to developing professional case study reports based on this use. And like I said, there's going to be more tutorials. I'm going to put one out for voice to text and summarizing and things like that. That's my next learning phase. And then we'll see what we can do about project management, things like that as well, possibly. But again, probably the next one that's going to come out is going to be when I grade your reports, because it's coming up. So hopefully this has been helpful. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.